I found the final edit for Plane unexpectedly bad. The final edit was confusing because some important information was lost. They couldn't understand why the airplane needed to crash land, given that it still had two perfectly good engines, enough fuel to reach Japan, and flight controls despite losing avionics. They also noted that there seemed to be no emergency checklists or handbooks in play, and the two pilots appeared to panic, which they found very unrealistic. This is what some people are saying about the movie Plane. Let's see if this criticism holds true and watch the movie until the end to form our own opinion. Remember, everyone's perception of a movie is different, so it's best to experience it for ourselves before coming to a conclusion. Welcome to Real Savant, where we bring you the latest in movie recaps and reviews, breaking down the film for you and providing insightful commentary. Join us as we delve into the world of cinema and elevate your movie watching experience. Don't forget to like and share our videos. Also, subscribe to our channel to get notified when our latest review video is uploaded. As the movie begins, we see Captain Brodie Torrance, played by Gerard Butler, in Singapore, calling his daughter Daniela, portrayed by Hayley Hecking. He tells her that he's on his way home to Honolulu to spend the holiday with her. Brodie, who used to be an RAF pilot, is now flying Trailblazer Airlines Flight 119. He meets his co-pilot Samuel Deli, played by Yoson An, who informs Brodie that they're going to have to fly through a storm. Shortly after, Bonnie, the chief flight attendant, played by Daniela Pineda, informs Brodie that he's needed to meet Officer Shellback, played by Remy Adelecki. The officer tells Brodie that they're transporting a dangerous killer, a former French Foreign Legion soldier named Louis Gaspare, portrayed by Mike Colter, and with that, the story takes off. As the flight takes off, we're introduced to the other passengers, including a group of young social media influencers and a snooty businessman. Once they're in the air, Brodie and Deli have a conversation where Brodie shares how his wife passed away years earlier. They pass over the South China Sea, and as they fly through the storm, they encounter heavy turbulence. Things get worse, and the plane sustains damage, causing Brodie to injure his head. The situation takes a turn for the worst when a stewardess is killed, and Officer Shellback also dies after being tossed around when the plane starts to go down. Brodie and Deli have to take control of the plane without comms and radar, trying to keep it balanced as they descended. They realize the damages are too severe and they need to make an emergency landing. They spot an island and make a rough landing, all while trying to keep the remaining passengers safe. I have to say, Plane is an intense and gripping movie that gives a glimpse into the real-world aviation industry. It's always interesting to see what happens behind the scenes of routine airline processes and how pilots handle unexpected events. While there are some inconsistencies and plot holes in the story, the film provides a realistic depiction of challenges that come with flying through a storm and conducting search and rescue operations over a vast expanse of ocean. It's also fascinating to see an inside-the-cabin view of what it's like to make a crash landing and the difficult decisions the pilots have to make in a high-pressure situation. The industry-specific details in the movie remind me of the old John Wayne classic, The Hellfighters, which was all about Red Adair's crew and their work to put out oil field fires around the world. After everything settles down, Brodie instructs the passengers to evacuate the plane. He and Deli then realize they have landed on Holo Island. In New York City, at Trailblazer's headquarters, the board of directors meets with their crisis manager, Scarsdale, played by Tony Goldwyn. They're discussing how to locate the plane and passengers. Brodie makes it a priority to keep Louis away and secured from the other passengers due to his violent history. He works with Deli and Bonnie to keep everyone calm and to try to find a way to call for help. Deli shares that Holo is operated by violent separatists, which means they're all at risk the longer they stay there. The rebels, led by Datu Junmar, played by Evan Dane Taylor, learn about the plane's crash landing and see it as an opportunity to benefit from the passengers. Meanwhile, Brodie takes Louis into the forest to try to find a way to contact for help. In my opinion, it would have been great to see more of Gerard Butler's fighting skills in the movie, especially after his recent performance in the Has Fallen series. Also, some additional background information about Colter's character would have been nice, as it would have helped us understand his motivations and actions better. Nonetheless, I still found the movie entertaining and enjoyable to watch. Meanwhile, in New York City, Scarsdale and the board review Brodie's history file, which includes a video of an incident where Brodie took down an aggressive passenger in a chokehold until he passed out. The passenger had punched Brodie while he was trying to de-escalate an altercation. Scarsdale plans to send a private military team to rescue everyone once they track the plane and learn of the threat on the island. In Honolulu, Daniela's aunt breaks the news to her that her father's plane has crashed. Brodie and Louis reach a tower, where Brodie manages to contact an agent from Trailblazers, who initially doesn't believe him because she claims they have been getting lots of prank calls over the missing flight. Brodie also manages to call Daniela before he is attacked by a rebel. Brodie fights the man until he is able to kill him. Upon further inspection of the building, Brodie and Louis see that the rebels use the area to torture and videotape their victims for ransom money. The two rush back to the plane but find that Junmar and his goons have already made it there. A Korean woman attempts to flee, only for one of the rebels to shoot her. Her husband is then brutally decapitated. The rebels proceed to take everyone else hostage, while Brodie and Louis hide. Once the rebels leave, the two subdue a remaining rebel and learn that Junmar is taking everyone to a nearby village. Brodie and Louis resolve to follow and rescue everyone. I have to say, Gerard Butler really delivers in this movie with his intense and dramatic performance. Every line he delivers adds to the suspense and tension of the story. That being said, I do wish there was a bit more action in the film. Maybe a few more scenes of intense gunfights or fights would have really added to the overall vibe of the movie. But despite that, I still enjoyed watching it and was on the edge of my seat throughout. As the two head out to the village, Junmar starts forcing the hostages to state their names and home countries for their ransom video. The military team arrives on the island, but they find nobody near the plane, only the bodies of Shellback and the stewardess, along with a message from Brodie. Brodie and Louis make it to the village and kill some more rebels before locating and freeing the hostages. Everyone gets boarded onto a bus, while Brodie stays behind to let them get out. Junmar and his men beat him and prepare to execute him, but the military team shows up and begins to open fire on the rebels. After the fight, Junmar finds his brother among the dead, driving his cause against the others to become more personal. I totally agree that sometimes movies can go overboard with CGI, but it's great to hear that this one didn't. It's also refreshing to see a movie that's interesting from beginning to end, and has lots of good sound quality. I hope more movies like this come out in the future though. With most of the rebels taken care of, Brodie and Deli work together to get the plane back in action. However, their efforts are nearly thwarted when Junmar tries to fire an RPG at the plane. Brodie responds by lifting the aircraft high into the air, using the wheels to take out Junmar in the process. With the plan in place to land at a nearby airstrip in Chiayi, Brodie and the team face one last bit of turbulence before they can finally make a safe landing. Upon their arrival, everyone back at Trailblazers HQ cheers in celebration of their successful rescue mission. With the passengers finally settling down after their harrowing ordeal, Brodie takes a moment to call his daughter Daniela and let her know that he is coming home. It's been a long and difficult journey, but with everyone finally safe and sound, he can breathe a sigh of relief and look forward to reuniting with his loved ones. Thank you for tuning in to Real Savant, where we just recap the thrilling new movie, Plane. While the film received mixed reviews, it definitely kept us on the edge of our seats with its intense storyline and suspenseful scenes. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting movie reviews and recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.